Hi guys, how are you? So this is confirmation for someone. I got this message, this word last week, and I forgot to put it out. And then it actually just came back to me about 15 minutes ago. And I'm like, yeah, this is urgent. I got to put it out. But there's someone that I don't know what you're going to do, if you're going to write a book or if you're doing a podcast or YouTube channel. But there's something that God has specifically told you to work on that's going to that's connected to your testimony, which means there's going to be success coming out of it, but it does have something to do with you speaking your truth and you talking about the things that you've endured and the things that you've faced in your lives, all the obstacles and challenges, right? The Lord showed me that there's someone that's going to try to hurry up, come in, make peace with you, apologize to you, and this person knows that you're going to put out your testimony. They know you're working on a project. I don't know how they know. I'm not sure if you told them. I'm not sure if they had a dream of your prophecy. I'm not sure what's going on, but most of the times when someone's trying to block us from putting out our testimonies and stuff, most of the times they have a dream of our success. Like they dream about where we're going to be and, you know, the doors that are going to open for us, right? And I feel like this person may have dreamt it. I'm not sure. Go get confirmation from God relating to this part of the message. But you'll know if the other parts of the message relate to you because this is something that was on your spirit heavily, okay? So this person is literally trying to hurry up and make peace with you in hopes that you change your mind about speaking your story, in hopes that you don't put out your testimony because they're a part of your testimony, but they're not a part of your testimony in a positive way. They have a role to play in tearing you down. They have a role to play with tarnishing your name. They have a role to play with trying to block you. They have a role to play when it comes to your tears, the tears that you have cried. They have a big role to play in that. And like I told you guys in the past, your testimony may end up embarrassing a lot of people only because they may be that person in a testimony that had tried to hurt you. But God wants you to put out your testimony because God wants you to encourage people. You never, like I said to you guys this whole week, you don't know who's watching you. You don't know whose life you're going to change just by speaking about your story, right? So the fact that God is saying that your testimony is going to be a part of your success when it comes to a project he has you working on, it means that you definitely put your pain into something and you're turning your pain into a blessing by doing that. And someone knows this and someone is afraid of embarrassment. This is how you know the apology is not genuine, because if they were genuine, they wouldn't try to hurry up and come and try to make peace with you before you put out your testimony. They would have tried to make peace with you before that. Or if they really were apologetic for what they did to you, the motives would have been different. It wouldn't be because, oh, I'm afraid she or he's gonna tell people what I did. I'm afraid people are gonna look at me in this type of way. I need to hurry up and make peace. I need to hurry up and apologize. So I feel like because you are going to be out there, whether you're a public figure, whether you have a platform, you're going to be out there, and the world's going to see who you are, and your testimony is going to be spoken. There's people that are going to try to make peace with you in hopes that they are not the villain of your story. Even though they're hoping that you don't reveal them as the villain of your story. Do you see what I'm saying? So be cautious of that, okay? And here's what may happen when they come and do this. Now you may be in a position where you're not sure what to do. It's kind of like you're on the fence. It's kind of like, okay, God, you told me to put out my testimony, but now, let's just say the person contacts you on the phone. Hey, I'm so sorry about everything that happened in the past. You know, I really, really like you. You know what I mean? I reflected, I've changed, I've done the inner work, etc. And they're saying all this stuff to you. Now you're kind of on the fence about putting out your testimony, because now you're like, oh my gosh, God, this person's really changed. They're genuine. They apologize. But now it's kind of like, I don't even want to put out my book now. I don't even want to talk about the situation now because I don't want to make them uncomfortable. So now it's kind of like you're blocking yourself from putting out your testimony because you're trying to make someone else, you're not trying to make someone else uncomfortable, but then you kind of just silenced yourself in the process of thinking about someone else's comfort. In the process of trying to protect someone else, you silenced yourself. Do you see what I'm saying? You silenced yourself by doing that. Okay, so you have to pray to God and find out from God what exactly he wants you to do in this situation. But someone you're kind of going to, when this happens, when this apology comes in, you're going to be on the fence as to whether you want to talk about your story now because that person that's apologizing has a role to play in it. Or they've already done it and you're already on the fence. Do you see what I'm saying? But I don't feel like God would ever want you to go back on your testimony. I feel like God would always want you to speak up when it comes to your testimony. Now, there's a way to speak up about your testimony without, tearing someone down, tarnishing someone, trying to make someone look bad. But if someone is the villain of your story and someone did hurt you, they're automatically going to feel embarrassed. Even if you don't mention any names, they're gonna feel embarrassed. I remember back in the day, I did a makeup video. about, a testimony, and I spoke about how I ended up in foster care, and I mentioned a bunch of different scenarios that happened in my life. And one of the scenarios had to do with me being kicked out of my family's home, and I talked about it on my channel, but that wasn't the only scenario I talked about. But I didn't mention any names, I didn't say who the person was or anything like that, but that caused a lot of issues, because later on I got a text message, and the person was angry with me, and she basically told me, she wrote some stuff about me on Facebook that was false, and she basically blackmailed me and said that if you don't delete that, I'm not deleting what's on Facebook. I said, okay, I'll delete it, but you don't have to delete what's on Facebook. You can keep it up, because I know it's not true. So I don't care if it was true, I'd feel offended, but I'm not offended because I know it's not true. But I'll still delete it just for your sake. And I deleted it, and the whole time I thought I was in the wrong. And later on, I prayed about it, and God said she gaslighted you. He said she was embarrassed. That's why she told you to delete it. You did nothing wrong. God was like, he didn't say gaslight, but he said she played with you, played mind games with you. And basically gaslighting, right? And he basically said you did nothing wrong. You didn't have to delete it, and told me next time, don't ever delete your testimony. It's helping a lot of people. So I say this to say that people do that. They will gaslight you and make you feel bad for sharing your story. You get what I'm saying? Because internally they don't feel good about it. Internally they feel embarrassed, but that's not your fault if they feel embarrassed. You get what I'm saying? So go to God about it. But I know that whoever this is for, you're going to be on the fence about sharing something, because the person's going to try to hurry up and come in to clean things up, because they know you're about to share your story. They know you're about to blow up in a good way. But I'm not talking about blow up, and you get what I'm saying? This is like the little slang that we use here. Blow up means like you're about to go viral, okay? Whether it's your book, whether it's your platform, you're going viral. Your testimony has something to do with it. And if someone's embarrassed for doing what they did to you, they shouldn't have done it. You see what I'm saying? So, I say this to say, go to God about it, and don't let anyone silence you from putting out your testimony, okay? Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.